testing managers or as testers, we need to wear a very neutral hat. We should not be commenting on the or giving an opinion about the quality of the product or quality of the application. I normally say let the data say on its own. Okay, nobody can contain the data, but everybody can contain your opinion. So I let the data say on its own. So that's why it's a good idea to put your observations in the form of data in front of it, that there were 20 CVT1 issues found and 40 CVT2 issues were found. So people will automatically understand, the managers will automatically understand that there was a challenge in the quality of the application. And more the bugs, the more the time it takes for you to test the application. And last bullet is regarding recommendations. It is recommended that, in the recommendations, the testing manager normally recommends whether to go for the release or not. Now, all this is again substantiated with data that this is the reason that why we are recommending it to be released or not. Overall, what I would suggest is that we should give, as testers, we should give constructive suggestions, because at many places I've seen, or in many forums I've seen, that testers are seen as quality gatekeepers who are finding faults, and they are perceived as the persons who are delaying the release. So what I want to convey is that it should be that we should act as persons who are able to find defects, and also to give constructive decisions that how we can overcome it, and with an objective, with a common objective, to release the product as quickly as possible with good quality. So this covers the test execution part. More from now, what I am in slide number 16, what I have listed down. This is my last slide. What I've listed down is basically from a practical aspect, that what are the best practices which one should follow for test execution and reporting. Now, this is all based on our experiences, and some of it I've already covered in the webinar, but I would like to still emphasize it. Reason being, these are very important. Find the scary bug first. That is, the bugs which are important or critical from a business perspective. Try to find out that first. Reason being, if you find such a major bug towards the end of the testing life cycle, then it becomes very difficult to fix. Let's take a practical example. That you are working as part of a testing team, and let's assume there's a 3-week testing life cycle which has been given to you. On last day of testing, which is after 3 weeks or just before the end of the testing life cycle, you find out 2 severity 1 level issues. Now, as a tester, you'll say that I've done my job. But is it healthy? Is it good for the team, overall project? The answer is no. You should have found such issues much earlier. So that's what I mean by finding the scary bugs first. Secondly, we should be communicating very clearly with the required details. Whatever our findings are, those should be circulated to the appropriate parties. Nowadays, tools are available. You can have dashboards. You can have basically web-based tools can be used for communicating and publishing the information. Adapt to evolving circumstances. This is now very important. earlier also I mentioned that we are not living in an ideal world. Things keep on changing. You start testing, you are given 3 weeks to test it. You feel that it is good. But look from a perspective, the same application, it's the same, you have done the sizing and everything and you find that, okay, 3 weeks is sufficient. If the quality of the product or the application is not good, there would be many more bugs in it. Many more bugs means much more time required to recreate them, analyze them, and spend them and document them compared to a stable product. So all your planning of 3 weeks has gone for a toss. Now this is what I call as adapting to the practical scenario or evolving circumstances. There could be certain external dependencies also which could cause delay. You could get a build which you were expecting on Monday, you got it only on Wednesday evening and you are asked to start testing. There could be certain change in priorities, certain resources could be redeployed, certain testers could be moved out. So all these are certain aspects which are not in our control, but as I said that we need to prioritize and do the best job in that whatever time window which you are given. So when I say best job means try to find out the severe bugs first, try to attack the core functionality and check whether it is working. So that is what is very important. Now last bullet is work towards early resolution of blocking issues. There is a term which is used known as blocker. Let me go slightly deeper into it. Let's assume there is an application which is working fine, 80% application is working fine, but there's one flow in which you can't even navigate because in the first screen of that flow itself there's a problem and you can't move forward. So you leave that particular flow and the flows below it and you complete the remaining part of the testing. What here I am recommending is that whatever that blocker is, it is advisable to get that thing unblocked. When I say unblocked means fixed by the developer as soon as possible. Reason being, otherwise any area which is not tested is a gray area for me. You don't know what is there below that. How many bugs are there below it? So it is best to uncover those gray areas as soon as possible. And that's what I mean by putting over here, work towards early resolution of blocking issues. There should not be any area where you are testing for the first time towards the end of the testing life cycle. You should have done some basic testing of the core functionality or the main part of the functionality as soon as possible. So in the end, what I would say is that testers' only job is not to find bugs and act as gatekeepers of quality. They need to be more proactive and come up with suggestions so that the application can be delivered with quality in the scheduled time. They should also be able to gain the confidence of the developers and the management team that these guys are also working for the same goal and objective of the project.